It's finally here, game week.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition, a Labor Day edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Matt Derry with you, host of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network on a Monday, Labor Day, September 2nd into Tuesday, September 3rd. Game week is here. Lions, Rams, Ford Field this Sunday night at 8:20 on NBC. Great to have you with us. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, whether you're watching and subscribing for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you. Thanks to our everydayers who check out the program each and every day. We will hear from one of our everydayers later on the show in our Call of the Day segment, brought to you by our friends at our SpeakPipe. You got a voicemail system, which we do. Go to speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. Leave a voicemail, keep it clean, and we might play it on the air as our call of the day. Locked On Lions today brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL to win $50 instantly when you play for $5. That's it. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. PrizePicks, run your game. Follow us on Twitter or X at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, the Matt Derry Facebook fan page where we post the pod daily, and of course, checking us out on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Here we go, folks. It's Monday. Preseason's done. Roster stuff is done. Labor Day's done. College football has started. Now we got NFL football. We got the Lions. They're in game mode, game week mode. Dan Campbell met with the media on Monday. They'll have an off day tomorrow. They'll get back to practice Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see our first injury report on Wednesday. And then Matthew Stafford, Jonah Jackson, and the LA Rams come to town for a Sunday night matchup, showdown, whatever you want to call it. I'm so excited. I'm literally speechless. I cannot wait for real NFL football here. We've gone through the preseason. We've got through all this stuff, the draft, free agency, roster cutdowns. We're here. And this is exciting. All right, we want to get into captains on the show today. We want to talk about injuries and the updates that Dan Campbell gave today as well. We'll get into that. ESPN put out their first FPI rankings, which is the Football Power Index with the computer. Where do the Lions stand amongst the 32 teams? We will get into that. And also our call of the day as well from one of our everydayers, which we appreciate. All of you out there that have called into the voicemail on SpeakPipe and try to contribute to the show. Thank you so much. We wouldn't do this, and I wouldn't do this without the fans. I've been doing this since we started the network in 2016. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is my 9th season doing Locked On Lions. This is awesome. Thank you, David Locke. Thank you, Ross Jackson, everybody at the network for giving me this opportunity and allowing me daily to bring you content and entertainment. We'll do the crossover on Thursday and get you ready for Lions Rams. All of this this week right here on Locked On Lions. Working on some other guests. We'll leave it at that. Where do we start? Excitement around this game leads to, of course, the Lions naming their captains for the upcoming season. What is pretty telling about this announcement today is the consistency. You want guys back every year that help you win. You want winning football players on your team. You want consistent captains because that way the message stays consistent. You know who the leaders are in your room. If you're switching up your captains every year, you're in chaos. You don't have that level of consistency. Last year, Jared Goff was a captain. He's a captain again this year. Last year, Amon-Ra St. Brown was a captain. He's a captain again this year. Last year, Penei Sewell was a captain. In just his second year, he's a captain again. Alex Anzalone, back as a captain. Jalen Reeves-Maybin as a team special teams captain, back at it. The Lions named one new captain because another one from last year is gone, and that's Charles Harris. Charles Harris is out, and I think is likely going to retire soon. But the Lions named today Aidan Hutchinson as another one of their captains. What does that say, right? You think about all of the guys on this team, the veterans, the leaders, guys on that defense that have been around. And Aidan Hutchinson yet in just his, third season, getting an opportunity to be a Lions captain is pretty remarkable. It's pretty special. Panay Sewell, by the way, I believe is entering year 4, right? With the team. Yeah, because so I made a mistake. This is year 4 for Panay. This is year 3 for Aidan Hutchinson. But Dan Campbell said it today. He's Mr. Michigan. He's kind of one of the faces of the franchise. And this was an easy pick to make him a captain. And think about this. You've got some young studs on this team, guys like Sewell, guys like St. Brown. Then you got the veterans like Goff and Reeves-Maben. Anzalone's been around this league. Aidan Hutchinson getting this opportunity and getting this assignment to be a captain tells you all you need to know about this kid. He's a special guy. He's a special leader. And he's a special talent. And this was a no-brainer for the team to vote him as a captain. Now that Charles Harris is gone, so you got your 6 guys. It's awesome. And we talk about Hutch so many times because there are games, and we all see this on social media, on Twitter and X or whatever, where Hutch is quiet. The Bears game last year, kind of quiet. Then at the end, makes the biggest play of the game. Forces a sack fumble on Justin Fields. Hits the back of the end zone for a safety. He makes big-time plays when it matters the most. He's not just about sacks. He's not just about hurries or pressures. He sets the edge against the run. He makes plays in the passing game. Aaron Glenn puts him in some positions sometimes to go cover people. He backs up off of the defensive line, gets into a back pedal and makes interceptions, makes plays, and is beloved by his teammates. And there were a lot of questions that year about Kayvon Thibodeau or Aidan Hutchinson or whatever else. You think Brad Holmes made the right choice? So you love this group of captains. 5 of 6 from last year are back on a team that was 30 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl. So it's that continuity, it's that consistency that is so important for a winning team to have the same message, to have the leaders that want to be there. And congratulations to all of these guys for being named captain and representing the Lions. This is a really good group. And it's led by your quarterback. If your quarterback's not your captain and one of your captains, there's something wrong. Seriously, there's something wrong. And Jared Goff is the unmistaken leader of this team. And fans love him, the Jared Goff chants. And I'm expecting a big year from him. I know there's going to be some question marks with some new faces on the offensive line, some shuffling a little bit with Zeitler, Josh Reynolds no longer being there. But this offense should be damn good. And now they've got a defense, especially with that secondary, that I think is going to wreak some havoc. The D line is improved. Sky's the limit for this football team, Lions fans. And you love to see Jared Goff named a captain again. And you know the Jared Goff chants are going to be in full effect a couple hours before the game on Sunday with Stafford back in the building again. It's kind of the origin of the chants from last year, which reverberated around arenas and stadiums just about everywhere. So that's pretty cool. Very, very cool. I mean, Jared Goff chants at like people's graduations. So Goff, Amon-Ra, Sewell, Alex Anzalone, Gaines Media poster boy, Jalen Reeves-Maben, of course, and Aidan Hutchinson, your 6 captains for this upcoming season. This should be a special year. It really should. Not only are all those guys really good guys and good leaders, they're all good football players. Jalen Reeves-Maben, when given opportunities to play linebacker, does not hurt the Lions. When there's injuries or they need depth or a guy goes out for a few plays or they see some packages that the offense puts in and you see number 44 out there, he makes plays. So I love it. I love that group. And I think that it's exciting that was something that was named today, this afternoon, by the Lions as part of their kind of Monday before week 1 here. All right, coming up next, let's get into what Dan Campbell said about some injured players. We will do that next right here on Locked On Lions on this, a Monday edition, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And Locked On is always brought to you by our friends at the Gametime app. Looking for tickets to just about anything. I told you my son wants to go to Colts Packers week 2 in Green Bay. Go on the Gametime app. It is so easy. Plus, you can get that $20 off your first purchase at the end. Gametime also has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite team or live events or whatever much easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. So you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Tigers playing good ball. All of a sudden in the wild card race, you want to go to some Tiger games down the stretch here in September? Get the tickets at Gametime. All right. They got everything you need there. Now they got a thing called the Super Deal. All right. All about buying concert tickets with Gametime and Gametime Picks, and you get fantastic deals. 50% off tickets here today on Labor Day. If you're out in LA, you want to go to Dodgers Diamondbacks exclusively on Gametime. All of it's there. Views from your seat, lowest price guarantee, and everything else. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? It's game time. And Locked On Lions is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/lockedon and get on your way to being your best self. Folks, it is that simple, right? What's something you love to learn? As an adult, do you make time to learn new things as often as you like, or was that lost in your childhood? Well, kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you like to learn, whether it's gardening, a new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling? Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back to school era can come at any age. If you think about starting up therapy, I want you to do me a favor. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime, excuse me, for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Matt Derry back with you. It is a Monday edition. Got to have a little water here of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Lions and Rams coming up at Ford Field Sunday night. Excuse me. Lions, of course, are going to start with 3 of the first 4 at home. Rams, Bucks, at Arizona, and then home for Monday Night Football against Seattle. So September is going to be a lot of fun, certainly downtown at Ford Field. And again, go to the Gametime app if you want tickets for Lions and Rams. You know, I did not even turn the light on. I need to turn my light on here. Whoops, hold on. We're going to do this on the fly and get all the lights turned on here for our show here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. That was fun. We'll get you our call of the day momentarily. We got to talk about the FPI rankings from ESPN, but today Dan Campbell mentioned 2 players when it comes to injuries. Lions are in pretty good shape as they head into their game against the Rams on Sunday. Number 1, Ifeatu Melifonwu is, I guess you could say iffy. Iffy is iffy for the opener on Sunday night. He's been bothered by an Achilles injury over the last few weeks. It's nothing serious. They're not putting him on PUP. They're not putting him on IR, but they were going to test him out this afternoon here on Monday and see where he's at in terms of if he could play Sunday night against the Rams. Melifonwu, as you know, played a big role second half last year, but now Brian Branch kind of moving back to safety. You've got Kirby Joseph back there as well. Melifonwu is going to play at some point, whether he's healthy or not, or when he's healthy, he'll be out there. But right now, Dan Campbell unsure if they'll have Melifonwu for Sunday's game against the Rams. Also, there are still, as he's coming back from that quad injury, DJ Reader, they're still not sure. They're still targeting week 2 for Reader's return against Tampa Bay. He hasn't really practiced with the team. He's done some stuff on the side. He's gotten better. He's off of the physically unable to perform list. But after, tearing that quad for the second time, and he already knows how to kind of rehab it. I still think they're targeting the second week of the season against Tampa Bay for DJ's return. What's interesting is when Dan Campbell was talking about the interior of their D line today, and there's still some holes there with Broderick Martin on IR, Reeder might not play. You're basically down to Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Paschal, who can play both inside and outside, and Mekhi Wingo, the rookie 6th-round pick from LSU. I would think the team might be in the market for another D lineman, maybe to add to the roster, because the roster right now is at 52. Plus, don't forget, Kyle Pecco is on the practice squad, and they can elevate him for Sunday's game against the Rams if need be. This is a guy that they kept out of all the preseason games. I think they want to use him. He's a veteran. He's been around. He's got experience in Tennessee, playing alongside and working with Terrell Williams, the Lions defensive line coach. So if I had to guess, I would say Kyle Pecco is going to be activated and at least moved up from the practice squad to play in this game. But really, those are the only two injuries of any concern. There was no mention of Penei Sewell today. Everybody else is ready to go against the Rams on Sunday. And on tomorrow's show, I'm going to talk about this game on Sunday night might come down to 2 rookie kickers. And that ought to be interesting. I'm going to get into some of that tomorrow right here on Locked On Lions. All right, I promised you this from ESPN as well. They came out today with their first FPI rankings, their football ESPN Football Power Index, which ranks every team from 1 to 32 based on how it projects the season to play out. So I looked up and I was surprised when I immediately scrolled down at ESPN.com and saw that the computers and all this at FPI at ESPN.com, they've got the Niners coming in at number 1 with a projected win total of 11 and the strength of schedule being the 11th hardest. So Niners are at number 1, Kansas City at number 2, projected wins also at 11, with the 8th easiest strength of schedule, the Chiefs. Baltimore at number 3, projected wins 10.6, strength of schedule 9th hardest. Then the Lions come in at 10.6 as well at number 4, projected wins 10.6, ranking number 4, strength of schedule 7th hardest. ESPN talks about biggest strength, and they talk about the offense. Biggest concern is the young cornerbacks. Fantasy sleeper candidate, they rank as Jamison Williams, who has said he's got some lofty goals for this year. And their bold prediction is that Kevin Zeitler will finish in the top 5 in pass block win rate and have a really good year, despite just signing that 1-year, $6 million deal. Buffalo is 5, by the way. Dallas 6, a little bit high for them. Cincinnati 7, Philly 8, Houston 9, and Green Bay 10. So Mike Tannenbaum today on Get Up on ESPN picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I just don't get it. No one, I'm not hating on the Packers, all right? Jordan Love's really good. That young receiving core is dangerous. I like their defensive line a lot. I think Van Ness is going to have a big year. And I said that on the NFC North preview show here on Locked On. But people picking Green Bay to win the Super Bowl, I don't see it. I think their defense, their back 7 is very young. And I'm not sure their offensive line is going to hold up. So, but they did rank top 10. And look, this division is really, really good. By the way, Caleb Williams today was named a captain by the Bears. Rookie quarterback named captain. What does that tell you? They're impressed with him there. And maybe he is going to be a difference maker. Maybe the Bears sneak in and get that 3rd wild card. This division is going to be an absolute slobber knocker this year. Man, it is not going to be easy at all to any of these games. I'm telling you, Minnesota is going to put up a fight against the Lions in both games. I'm telling you, just like they did last year. I know the Minnesota offense is no good outside of Justin Jefferson. I know the quarterback situation is dicey. I get all that. But that defense is well coached. So we'll see about that. All right, our call of the day is coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Monday edition, Lions and Rams coming up this Sunday. Man, cannot wait for real football to start again. Call of the day is next. Oh, we love this, ladies and gentlemen. Our friends at PrizePicks are back. Yes, PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You could do it for baseball. You could do it for basketball. You could do it for women's hoops this summer. That's still going on right now. What do you want to do this weekend? Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss the deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. Also, want to play PrizePicks alongside Drewski, Joe Budden, and MMA champ Sugar Sean O'Malley? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. Here's what you got to do. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Folks, we love hearing from you, the listeners and the viewers, on our SpeakPipe voicemail system. You go to SpeakPipe, PIPE.com/Dairy podcast page and leave a message. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to ask a question, you can ask a question. This week, we have one of our everydayers who once again is from out of state. Our buddy Caston Reed checking in from Ohio. He is today's call of the day. Take a listen.
Hey, Matt, Caston Reed from the Point, Ohio. Time for the regular season, so tough questions coming in. Do you trust Dan Campbell to make the call in the fourth quarter to send us to a Super Bowl? I love the man. I love his aggressiveness. But does he have the ability to make the right call at the right time? Thanks.
All right, Caston, great question. Thanks for being our call of the day today. Does Dan Campbell have what it takes to make the right call to send the team to the Super Bowl? Yes, I think he does. I don't know what that right call is, Caston. I don't know if you're talking about if there's a defensive call or an offensive call or special teams, but I'll say this. I think there's enough collaboration with his coaching staff, Ben Johnson and others, in his ear, Mark Brunell, Antoine Randall, Hank Fraley, that let's say the Lions and Niners are at it again in the NFC Championship. And let's say the ball's on the 32-yard line. And Dan Campbell has to make the right call on a fourth down with time running out to allow Jake Bates to make a kick. If Jake Bates at that point in next January is the kicker. But you know what I mean? I think Dan Campbell has now done this now for 4 years where he knows to listen to his people. Yes, he's very aggressive. Yes, this past year in the NFC Championship, you could question some of his decision-making on those fourth downs. But to get to the team to the Super Bowl, he has faith and confidence in his players. A guy like Jared Goff, I think, also plays a factor and plays a role in decision-making to tell Dan Campbell, we're staying on the field. We got it. Or, let's get a measurement and let's talk about it on the sidelines. These are smart people. I do think Dan Campbell has what it takes to get this team to the Super Bowl. I do think he'll make the right calls. He's made some mistakes over the last few years. What coaches haven't? Do you remember Andy Reid in Philly? Philly fans, Eagle fans all said the same thing. This guy can't win the big one. He can't do it here in Philly. Ends up going to Kansas City, surrounds himself with a really good staff, and wins a couple of Super Bowls. So, yes, I think Dan Campbell can do it, Caston. To answer your question, I think it's not going to be an easy road this year. I don't know if that road will be as paved as it was last year with home playoff games against the Rams and Tampa to get to the NFC Championship. But do I think Dan Campbell has what it takes to get this team over the hump? I do. I really do. And he said it today. We're not talking Super Bowl. We're not talking expectations. We're just playing one game at a time, and the focus is on the Rams. He's grown up. He's a damn good coach. He's a great leader of men. Is he the greatest X's and O's guy in the league? No. All right. But I think he's improved to the point where I think some of the recklessness that we've seen over the last few years will be reeled in a little bit. And if Jake Bates turns out to be a weapon and can knock field goals in from 55 yards out, which we've seen in the preseason, then he'll utilize that. I don't think he felt comfortable with Badgley or Patterson or any of those guys from that kind of distance. There's a reason Jake Bates has not been tested or not been pushed by any other kickers in camp. They have faith in that young man. All right, that's it for our Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. We are back again tomorrow for a Tuesday Locked On Lions.